Hello class! So today we are going to be doing our lecture on lesson 1.1, the introduction to the Italian Renaissance. So if you haven't gotten your guided notes already, go grab those from the class website and let's follow along. We are going to be starting our introduction to lesson 1.1 about the Italian Renaissance. So right over here, if you look at our screen, we can see a map of Italy, and it's broken up into a bunch of different city-states during the Italian Renaissance. And then over here, we have a famous artwork created during the Italian Renaissance called the School of Athens. All right, so what are some definitions and time periods of the Italian Renaissance? Well, the Renaissance means rebirth, and it took place in Italy between the times of 1350 and 1550. So, if we can remember, before 1350, Europe was just getting out of the deathly years of the Black Plague. So, people were looking for a rebirth. That's why we call it the Renaissance. They were looking for a rebirth of interest in art, learning, and classical ideas like the Greek and Romans. So the Italian Renaissance also brought new ways of thinking. So there was a new focus on the individual, the belief that people could improve society and change the world. And Italy was still continued religious beliefs, but there was also a growing focus on secularism. And that is the interest in this world rather than only religious life and the afterlife. There was also a new way of thinking that celebrated human achievement and also human potential. So, what were the key causes of the Italian Renaissance? Well, number one, there was a connection to classical past. So, Italy was the center of the Roman Empire, and it was surrounded by these ruins and classical art that inspired a revival. They wanted to create The Italians did. They wanted to create art as great as the Greek and Romans that surrounded them every day. Number two key cause of the Renaissance was wealth. By the 1300s, Italian city-states had become very wealthy. So these wealthy families and merchants could afford to pay artists, sculptors, and architects. And they also funded new artistic and architectural projects as well. Another key cause of the Italian Renaissance was competition among city-states. So during this time, Italy still remained divided into small city-states, similar to those of Greek and Romans that we learned about earlier in the year. And these city-states competed to produce the best and most famous artwork among one another. So nobles and merchants supported local artists to increase their city's fame. Another key cause of the Renaissance was urbanization. So that's from moving from the countryside into a city. So unlike most of Europe, Italy had a growing urban population. Urban means city. So these cities had more people living close together. So more people living close together equals more customers for art. Urban life also promoted discussion, sharing of ideas, and creativity. All right, woohoo! That's the end of lecture 1.1, Introduction to Italian Renaissance. If you haven't done so already, please complete your guided notes that you either got in class, or if you were absent, please go get them from our website. And then also, please complete the Google form for our exit ticket for today. Thank you. Have a great day.